What's up, Andy Rose?
What's going on, brother? How you been?
Happy Red Friday, dude.
I got red on today.
What? Um, no, it's pretty good, man. This week was pretty good. But it was kind of an eye opener for me a little bit. And I know after you and I started talking, you kind of had the same takeaway as well. Um, Earlier this week, we started recording our veteran housing advisor training program. Now, let me take a step back. I am a part of the Veteran Lending Council. This is a group of loan officers from across the country, from different companies and across the country, who
Right.
specialize in VA home loan financing. And
Well, and I think that's important that this is not company specific. It's not broker specific, lender specific. These are individual loan officers. And now we're adding agents from across the country that want to focus on veterans and being trained to handle VA home loans, veterans and VA home loans.
Correct. So this isn't every loan officer, every real estate agent, they've had some sort of an encounter, or they've at least heard of the VA home loan. Okay. So the Veteran Lending Council are the ones that are actually, that's pretty much all they do. That's the main source of their business. With me, it's 98%, which, by the way, I didn't want to bring this up because I'm not this person, but I think it's kind of cool. It's a kind of really cool stat, and I don't even want to say it, but I'm gonna say it. I found out yesterday that I was the #1 VA lender in transactions and closed volume in the year of 2022 in the state of Michigan.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations.
It's awesome. But I'm not saying you have to know these stats. I'm just saying this is the caliber of people on the Veteran Lending Council.
Right.
Back in 2021, we launched our Veteran Mortgage Advisor VMA course, which is a loan officer training course. Now, this isn't just one of those things. It's a one test and you're done type thing. It's the most comprehensive and all-inclusive VA home loan training every loan officer has ever seen, because it's not just guidelines. It's how to identify, it's how to connect, it's how to brand yourself, it's how to market, it's how to teach, it's how to speak, it's how to educate, it's how to just get out there and do things that you're currently not doing. Right. So we are now applying this to the agent side. Okay. And this is where Andy comes in. Andy and I are going to be in Michigan at the end of this month to record round 2 of VHA. All right. Which got us thinking, like, holy crap. I mean, we're almost to the point where you got like another week or so of preparation time before the spring housing market kicks off. Now, before you say anything else, I understand the housing market has turned. Well, I mean, it has to turn from December of 2022. That was the slowest month I've ever seen.
Right. No, I mean,
so well, it's picking back up.
Exactly. I think we had the top of the market nationally in June as far as prices go. And because of where rates went, everything kind of started slowing down. Prices have leveled out. There's been a few dips here and there. But for the most part, and I was talking with some agents this morning, networking, and what they're seeing is a lot of the newer stuff that's hitting the market and priced appropriately for the condition of the property, they're back to getting multiple offers. Now, it's not
wait. So you're telling me that a real estate agent actually has to do their job properly in order to get what they're supposed to get.
Right. Well, and part of it is the seller has to, the seller has to trust their agent, right? We've had expectations in the market, and expectations always move slower than the facts, right? And here we are months later, and we still have sellers and buyers thinking that we are in a market where we were 12, 18, 24 months ago, and we're not there at all. But again, what we are seeing is multiple offers in certain situations. Now, those situations are specific to each market and areas of each market, but it is happening because there's a difference in inventory, right? We have inventory. It's higher than what it was 12 months ago. Okay. But good inventory and just regular inventory as far as condition, the houses that people really want, that inventory is still fairly small. So we're now seeing multiple offers again. We're not seeing the 10, 20, 30, 50 offers on one property. We're seeing 2, 3, maybe 5 in certain areas, but we're back to seeing it. So this is something that agents can do to prepare themselves for this coming market and how things are going to shift later in the year, mid-year, late year, where the expectation is rates come down, inflation comes down, things are looking better overall with the economy. Hopefully, that's the hope, that's the expectations, right? Expectations are always slower than the facts. And hindsight's 2020. So if that happens, you got to prepare yourself now where things aren't moving so quickly. You have agents and you loan officers have an opportunity to do a few things to prepare yourself. And what we're talking about now with training and VLC, VMA has had conferences. I know you've had 2 conferences. You had one here in Atlanta, May, I want to say it was May, and then one in November in Dallas.
We've had quite a few. Yeah, we've had quite a few. But the main, okay, so the veteran housing advisor, well, let me step back here. What we're getting at is the spring market is upon us already, right? I mean, it is honest. I mean, in 30 days, it's going to be March, and March is kind of springish. I don't know. I mean, when I determine that I can go outside wearing a t-shirt, that's spring to me,
Yeah.
right? Or just a long sleeve shirt. If you haven't started to prep and build, like prepare, I mean, this is your time to battle plan. I mean, straight up. I mean,
Right.
I hate to draw comparisons to this, but it's no different than staging your gear the night before, right? You
Right.
want to make sure all your gear is covered in line. You have all your stuff, checks and balances. You have everything all checked out. You probably have another 30 days of like really putting all your gear together. Okay.
Right.
And what gear together is, and we're only going to talk about a couple of them, right? It's conferences and training. What are you doing to set yourself apart from your peers?
Yeah.
Well,
How are you
here's an
making
option
yourself
for you.
better?
Yeah, here's an option for you. If you're a loan officer, the Veteran Mortgage Advisor Group, hands down, or Veteran Mortgage Advisor Training Program, hands down, is the most comprehensive, inclusive VA training you will ever come across.
Yeah. No, it is. And knowing what we're doing on the VHA side, it's going to be the best training out there for agents by far.
Correct. Right. So we're talking about veterans and VA stuff, but the stuff that we're going to talk about applies to everything. It could be plug and play, whatever niche you want to choose. Right. But you got to start thinking about these things. What sort of trainings are you doing? Are you going to attend any Buffini events or
Tom Ferry,
yeah,
Mike
whoever,
Ferry,
right?
all of those guys.
Because it's all about the networking. It's the relationships in this industry. It's all about relationships.
Yeah.
Right. What are you doing to go deeper with them?
So you're at the conferences, you're at the in-person training. So, you talk about networking. That's the other part of it. On the flip side of that, you're getting more information, but you're also connecting with people. You're networking with people across your area, across the country, allowing you to have more conversations about what you do in your industry, in your market, to do that. And I think that's another one, having more of those conversations with other people, not necessarily in your industry, because you can go out and talk to anybody in general, but having more of those conversations about how the market is, what you're doing to make things better, and where we see the market going.
Yeah, because if you have a good relationship, you and I have a good relationship, right, Andy? If
Absolutely.
anybody needs somebody, an agent in Florida or Georgia, they're going straight to you, buddy, right? I mean, I don't even have to think about it. Andy Rose. Here you go, right? He's down there. It's all because of the networking that we have done. We wouldn't have met each other if we'd never networked, right? So, and it's crazy. So you have to follow these things because they're there for you. They're free. It takes all of 30 seconds to make an introduction. Hi, I'm Brad.
Yeah. And it's not just handing out your business cards either, right? Everybody has business cards. They go in a bag, and then eventually they get thrown away. You actually have to have conversations that are meaningful, where they want to put your information in the phone, or you have a card that's got the QR code on it, and they scan it in, and boom, it's right there. But it's having those conversations, making those connections. I think that's the big part of it is like people go to these conferences and I've seen it, you know, they're just handing out the cards, without making any connections. I was at a board meeting for my local board, and it was our quarterly meeting, and there was a lender that she was one of the sponsors, but she put her cards on the table. I didn't know who she was. She never talked to me. But at the end, I was there late talking to some networking, right? And she went around each table and picked up her cards. And I was sitting right there. She could have had a conversation with me, and she didn't. And I was like, you know, if that's her business, if that's how she wants to handle her business, that's fine. But I kind of looked at it and was like, that's interesting. You know,
come on. Relationships. It's relationships. How are you building a relationship by just throwing your cards on the table? Right.
Right.
I don't give out business cards specifically, so I have to introduce myself. Right. And then in turn, I bring out my dot card and I tap their, the back of their phone, and they have all my contact information. They're like, well, this is the coolest thing ever. I just made an impact on them. They're going to remember.
I've got a card like that too. I've got one of those connect cards and everything. So let's go on to another thing that we were talking about.
Building your systems. Systems. All right. So
reevaluating your systems. What is your system doing now? Looking at your database. What we were talking about too with my wife, is looking at the database and cleaning it out. Where's the junk that you can get rid of so you're not worried about it? And what is your priority on your database that you can stay focused on? Who is going to your website? Who is contacting you back? Who are those people that have given you referrals that are past clients or friends or family? Are you connecting back with them? Are you connecting back with those referrals? Those are things that you need to be doing to really push this market and say, hey, in 30 days, 90 days, 180 days, are you looking to do anything? Because we see where the market trajectory is probably going. And
correct.
You're going to have to reach back out to that person.
A good CRM eliminates 1 to 2 employees, but it's only as good as the intel that you put into it. Okay.
Right.
So you have to analyze these things. Yeah. You get what you pay for. Absolutely.
Junk in, junk out.
Right. Correct. So I just recently switched companies. Okay. So I just recently switched CRMs. I know the importance of a CRM, right? But it's a little bit more expensive. That's okay, because in the background, when something happens, there's triggers. So this happens, this fires. This happens, this fires. This happens, this fires. It's happening when I'm sleeping. So this is all happening. Yeah, but you have to take time to build it out.
I had to look at my campaign the first of every year, because I have a date. Like, hey, are you looking to buy a house in 2022? Oh no, it's not longer 2022.
Correct.
It's 23. So you've got to check those things, and it's a good time to go through it and check all of those things. Make sure your dates and your information's right, so that you're not looking like a fool to some of these leads that you might be getting in, because junk, like I said, junk in is junk out, and you can purge some of those junk leads. I mean, we get internet leads. I get Mickey Mouse and Abe Lincoln and
I never remember the crypto kings. I never remember these crypto kings that are reviewing my Facebook page.
Yeah, exactly.
That stuff.
Exactly.
Thanks for the 5-star review, CryptoKing.com. I appreciate that.
So let's talk about the last one. And I think this one's important, because this is a mindset one. It's doubling down instead of pulling back.
This is the perfect segue.
You can grab market share. We had an explosion of agents over the last 2-3 years because the market was easy. If you were breathing, you could freaking sell a house, right? Because how crazy the demand was on marketing or on the market. And you didn't have to really do any marketing. So there's going to be those agents that are actually having to work, and maybe they don't want to work this hard. They didn't realize how hard it was to be an agent at times. Or there's those agents that have been doing it for quite a while, a few decades, 2-3 decades. And they're like, you know what? I've been through this enough times.
Systems are dialed in. It's just a well-oiled machine.
I worked this last couple of years. I'm worn out. I made great money. I did the right things. I'm out. I'm just going to be referrals now, right? Mm-hmm. So you have an opportunity to double down and take market share and build your business the right way, right? So instead of pulling back And if you got to pull back on budgets here and there, that's fine. Evaluating your budget right now is a great thing to do for this.
Absolutely.
Checking those things so that way you have money later on to do bigger things. But right now, double down in your efforts because it's going to pay off. Usually in real estate, we talk about the 90-day cycle, right? It's usually about 90 days from first contact to possibly closing that. Sometimes it's shorter, sometimes it's 30 or 60 days, but usually there's about a general 90 days, okay? Sometimes 120, depending on the market. But what you're doing right now, if you're doubling down right now for the next 30, 60 days, and the next 90 days, 120 days, that can all add up to a lot of business. And that way you'll be able to handle it because you've built your systems, you've prepared yourself, you've had those conversations, you've done all this training. So it'll be easier down the road when things do get busy. And you have the funds available because you've reevaluated your spending so that you can actually implement and grow and expand where you need to further down the road.
Well, let me play devil's advocate here along the lines of spending and doubling down, right? There is such a thing as doubling down, investing on yourself.
Oh, absolutely.
To dominate, right? We're not telling you not to do that. We're not telling you what. We're just giving you ideas, right?
Right.
To me, a solid CRM that does what I want it to do, automated tasks and everything, I will, reluctantly pay more, but in the long run, it saves me, right? So you have to do the cost analysis. I mean, I love nothing more than doing a home project, something I've never done before because it makes me think through things. Okay. Well, whenever I do it, because I'm not this by trade, it takes me 5 hours, 6 hours, and I have to go to Home Depot or Lowe's 2 or 3 times because I don't have the tool. Okay. So I just essentially wasted the entire day. So I didn't do anything to generate any revenue. I removed myself from my family life, right? So now that's one night less I get to spend with my family. I just wasted a whole bunch of money on tools that I'm only going to use one time, right? Whereas I thought the $250 quote to repair this was too expensive, right? So it's the stupidest thought process. Like, oh my God, this is so expensive. But then you analyze how much money you just spent and the other ancillaries that you've lost.
Right.
It's not worth it to me. So, well, crap, I got to put $250 to this person. But in the meantime, that frees me up to do some more things in my CRM to get prepared for April so that I know that when any lead comes in, no lead left behind. That's my new thing for like the last 2 weeks. No lead left behind. How the hell? Because it's easy to do. Okay. So if you get all your processes in place, all your systems in place, I mean, and if you have to pay somebody $500 to set it all up, I mean, that's a good investment in yourself because you are setting yourself up to dominate come April 2023. And that's what we would love to see.
Well, I mean, and it's okay to get lean, right? Because it takes effort to get lean. And usually when you get lean, you're cutting out certain things that you don't need to have, right?
Like Hulu, Netflix, Apple TV, Paramount TV, Peacock. Why do you need all 5?
Exactly. Guilty, right? We're going through our budget now doing the same thing. And that's just personal stuff, right? But when you get lean, like let's equate this to fitness because we were both in the Marine Corps, when you get lean and you get rid of all that junk, body fat, you slim down, you're eating better, habits stack on each other like that, right?
Shit, Andy, we just together over the year of 2022, we've lost a collective 100 pounds. So we can talk current. How much better do we feel now?
Get lean and you get lean and you get habitual about it. You get that system down. When you need to add muscle, it doesn't take much effort to add that muscle because you're already leaned out. Everything's working properly. And hey, I just gotta lift heavier and I gotta add protein.
Maintain.
And that's
maintain.
You can crank that up when you need to. When the market starts going in that direction that you need to crank that stuff up, you absolutely have the ability to do that because you've checked your systems, you've had the conversations, you've done the training, you've done the networking, and you've doubled down in whether it's ad spend, whether it's contacts a day, whether it's streamlining everything. So
events, like things like everything. Yeah, absolutely. Bingo. Nailed it, dude. And to bring this all home, right? If I were to decide to start working out right now, it's going to take a lot of effort to switch my body, my internal processes of everything, right? To go from fat storage to fat burning. It takes effort. You have to put in the effort now.
And your body loves homeostasis. Your body wants to stay the same. So if you've got a weight set point, it's going to take a little extra effort to get below that or above that, depending on which direction you're trying to go. If you're trying to add muscle, you're trying to lose weight. Your body wants to stay the same. So it takes effort to do that. So it's going to take effort to check your systems, network, double down, and do the training. It's going to take extra effort to get past your set point and grow yourself.
Correct. What I was getting at was it's going to take you a lot of effort to break the cycle, right? You have to go hard and heavy. 3 weeks is when you can start becoming addicted or used to, or what's the word I'm looking for?
Habitual habits.
Yeah, there we go. Habits. There we go. Forming habits. 3 weeks. So embrace the suck for 3 weeks. Okay, because
think about this. If you're breaking
now,
if you're breaking a habit, if you're breaking the habit, it can take twice that time. So you got to think, doing this right now, breaking certain habits and things that you shouldn't be doing, or you could be doing things better, breaking that habit to have a better habit, that's going to be about 6 weeks.
Yes.
So
3 week cycles, 2-3 week cycles.
Right. So start now, push that stuff out. And I mean, heck, behind me, I've got Atomic Habits, read the book.
Great book.
Great book. Start reading. That's one thing I've done for this year is read. I'm on my 4th book and actually reading a book, not listening, although I am listening to other books, but actually doing that. That's part of the training and making myself better to better serve my clients and to better work with other agents, lenders, and everybody else that we work with as realtors.
I put in a lot of work building out a network that I cannot wait to deploy next month. I cannot wait. I mean, I'm excited about it, and this is how you should feel after you're doing these things that we just talked about. You should be sitting there like a freaking bulldog with a pork chop, just chomping at the bit. Let me go. Right? If you're not there yet, you have about 30 days and start. But you got to get on it.
I mean, us doing this, right? We pulled back instead of doubling down on our videos. We got busy. Things were crazy, but things were slowing down. It was the holidays, whatever the excuse was. We pulled back, and now we're back at it. So we're adding this in. This is another thing. This is a part of the networking. This is a part of training, sharing our knowledge and experience. So
don't fall for the trap. Don't fall for the trap. Oh, I've had a really good 2 years. I deserve to take some time off. If you take your foot off the gas, you just added another 3 weeks. So now we're at 9 weeks, right? So stop it. Get out of your head. Set yourself up to succeed and dominate the spring and summer housing market. Absolutely.
Let's do it.
Boom. Let's go. Georgia, here we come.
All right, man. So let's wrap this up, man. You just
Number 5. Get out of here.
Yeah, you just got done with a week's worth of video. I'm preparing for a week's worth of videos for VHA, for training agents. So let's get back to it.
If you want more information about these programs, we'll put it in the comments below, or you can reach out to us. More than happy to talk to you about it.
Yeah, definitely. We want to put this out there to get it in front of people.
Semper Fi. Have a good weekend, man.
Hoorah. Have a great
next week.
See you.